Today's episode is brought to you by Vincero, luxury watches for the young hustlers. We'll talk about them more later in the show. Now, perhaps the only thing that Japan loves more than creating wildly improbable plush costumed mascots for every town within its borders are giant robots. Massive, pilotable mechs have long dominated in the Japanese pop cultural landscape, as well as the city of Tokyo's actual landscape. For years, there's been a giant Gundam statue overlooking Tokyo's Odaiba Bay. Now, with Pacific Rim Uprising coming to theaters, we're getting a celebration of all things giant robot on the big screen. And it makes sense. This movie has anime in its DNA. It feels like a live-action anime in the best way possible. But how do you keep that feeling rolling after the credits roll? Well, today on the Dan Cave, I'm gonna run down some of the most essential mecha anime that you need to see after you see Pacific Rim Uprising. Code Geass, Lelouch of the Rebellion. Man, anime has the dumbest names. All great mecha anime needs at least one of the following: Machiavellian geopolitical power struggles, massive robots doing righteous battle, and intrusive Pizza Hut product placement. Well, guess what? Code Geass has all three in spades. It's the story of Lelouch, a young exiled Britannian prince who leads a rebellion in occupied Japan against Imperial Britannian forces. See? He's mad at his family. Except unlike other insurgents, Lelouch has a special power called the Geass, which lets him command an individual to do anything he wants one time by making super intense eye contact. You know, a power that you definitely wouldn't abuse for evil. Anyway, come for the political intrigue, but stay for the giant robot fights, and then wonder what the hell happened when you black in hours later surrounded by $300 worth of pizza with tiny hot dogs on the crust like vestigial pigtails. Macross Frontier. Now you might be saying to yourself, but Dan, where's Robotech? Well, first of all, your voice sucks. Second of all, the answer is the real Robotech is the anime we met along the way, and one of the shows that made up that Frankensteinian hodgepodge was Macross, so watch the original. There are so many versions of Macross that it can be a bit daunting at times, but to paraphrase Richard Eisenbice's excellent primer on Kotaku, it boils down to a couple of core elements: an overwrought love triangle, fighter jets that turn into giant robots, and some certified jams. If you're confused about where to start, I don't blame you, but I would recommend Macross Frontier, the story of three people: a pop star, a kabuki actor turned military pilot, and an aspiring singer with a tragic past. They're all on board a human spacefleet that's looking for a habitable planet to colonize, and as you might surmise, hijinks and some seriously kick-ass mecha on alien action ensue. Full Metal Panic. You know that one kid in high school who was like a little too into military history? Well, this is the anime all about that kid if he was actually a member of a covert paramilitary organization devoted to fighting terrorism all over the globe. It follows 17-year-old Sosuke Sakura, who's tasked by the organization Mithril with protecting a Japanese schoolgirl named Kaname Chidori, who's being targeted by enemy agents due to her incredible ability to create advanced machinery because, you know, anime. The only problem, apart from people trying to kidnap Kaname, is that Sosuke is about as well adjusted as a feral child. So navigating high school could prove even trickier than saving the world. So if you like your high school comedies tempered with a heaping helping of giant robots just kicking the ever-loving crap out of one another, then this is the anime for you. Gurren Lagann. Rao Rao fight the powers that be that have kept you from experiencing the majesty of Gurren Lagann. It's a show that's all about believing in yourself. Well, actually not quite. If you quote the show back in its own words, don't believe in yourself, believe in the me who believes in you. It's the story of two miners, Simon and Kamina, who live in an underground village under the iron-fisted rule of the Spiral King. All of that changes, though, when they unearth an ancient mech which they used to fend off a surprise attack by beastmen from the surface world with the help of another surface dweller, a girl named Yoko. And together, this trio uses their mechanized might to fight back against this cruel king and reclaim mankind's rightful place, above ground. Is it the best anime ever made? Well, no, but is it an absolute blast full of increasingly epic robot fights and inspirational speeches? You bet your Gurren Lagann it is, baby. Mobile Police Patlabor The Movie. Now, 6 years before he would make Ghost in the Shell, Oshii Mamoru told a heady, cerebral story of robots run amok, murders most foul, and a race against time to save Tokyo from total destruction. Members of the Tokyo Police Department's 2nd Special Vehicle Section must use highly advanced robots known as labors to stop these berserk bots before it's too late. While the mech battles in this aren't as flashy or as over the top as some of the other entries on this list, its grounded, mature style of sci-fi storytelling makes it one of the best in the genre. And the best part? part, it's set in the year 1999, so go ahead and laugh your ass off at how different our future actually was from Patlabor's. I mean, did they even get to experience Will Smith's seminal album Millennium? November 1999? If not, I mean, this is truly the darkest timeline. Some serious jams on there. Gunbuster. Neon Genesis Evangelion may have been more popular, but the directorial debut of Hideaki Anno is also one of the greatest mecha anime of all time. It's kind of like Top Gun in space with giant robots. Gunbuster tells the story of humans piloting giant robots known as RX-7 machine weapons to repel an alien menace from destroying our planet. And humanity's best hope is Noriko Takaya, a clumsy teenage girl who only got the job in the first place because her dad was like a famous space admiral, and her polar opposite, Kazumi Amano, who's about as elite as pilot candidates come and is just way better than her pretty much every way. Can they overcome their differences to work together to save humanity? Or are we as dead as so many gooses in so many training incidents? Do they even play space volleyball? You'll just have to watch to find out. Giant Robo, the animation, The Day the Earth Stood Still. If you put kung fu, wuxia, superhero movies, and massive mechanized combat into a big-ass blender, you would get the wild cocktail that is Giant Robo, The Day the Earth Stood Still. This original video animation tells the story of a world that is overly reliant on a single energy source, which inevitably gets threatened by a shadowy cabal with superpowered soldiers hell-bent on world domination. And of course, this naturally leaves it up to the International Police Organization to put together a group called the Experts of Justice, consisting of elite warriors, superpowered individuals of their own, and of course a 12-year-old boy who owns an insanely powerful robot called Giant Robo so they can save the day. You know, that old chestnut, that old 12-year-old preteen RoboCop chestnut. Now, not only is this an awesome anime in its own right, but it's also a massive tribute to the works of Mitsuteru Yokoyama, who created the OG Giant Robo manga. So go ahead and educate yourself and enjoy the mecha madness that is Giant Robo. Neon Genesis Evangelion. I mean, do you really need me to tell you to watch this? No, you don't. So why don't you make like Shinji and get in the robot anime so you can finally understand dank memes like these. Mobile Suit Gundam, the 8th MS Team. Now, honestly, you could pretty much put any Gundam series on this list as they're all delightful in their own ways, except for G-Reco, but who's counting? Unlike many of the Gundam series, though, this one takes place primarily on Earth and pits the Earth Federation against the Principality of Zeon in a battle for global domination. With the Zeon forces routed and on the run, we follow the 8th MS Team, a small squadron of Gundam pilots embarking on a guerrilla mission to locate a powerful Zeon weapon. Instead, what they find is an up-close and personal look at the horrors of war as they experience them firsthand. This series gives a gritty, unvarnished look at life on the front lines of a never-ending conflict, and it'll give you a sense of the human cost behind these massive mech battles. And, you know, if you don't like it, just watch literally any other Gundam series except for G-Reco. Boom! You're welcome. And those are some of the greatest mecha anime ever made. But tell me, what's your favorite? What would you add to this list? Let me know in the comments below and give me a mechanized thumbs up while you're there. And also give me a bite of your popcorn when Pacific Rim Uprising hits theaters on March 23rd. Now be sure to like and subscribe or else you might miss next week's episode about the story of a butler-murdering British adventurer who teams up with a whip-toting archaeology professor to beat Nazis to outer space so they can frack an asteroid with Steve Buscemi in Tomb Raiders of the Lost Armageddon. Until next time, keep on digging. Thanks again to Vincero Luxury Watches for sponsoring today's show. Now let me ask you something. Are you looking to increase your perceived success and wealth without paying a huge price in some sort of Faustian bargain? Well, Vincero has a modern and contemporary style that looks bold and professional. Get the watch built for a boss. Trust me, it is way easier than talented Mr. Ripleying Scrooge McDuck puts up a fight. It's time to step up your game and stand out. A luxury watch doesn't have to cost you a fortune though, and you'll see why when you check out Vincero. Their watches are manufactured and quality checked by hand before reaching you, the customer. Now this attention to detail and quality is usually only seen in luxury watch brands that retail for over $500. However, Vincero watches start at just a little over $100. Now, I'm a big fan of Vincero because it's a stylish way to accessorize any outfit. With high quality construction, sleek design, and luxurious leather, this is the perfect watch for any occasion. A red carpet premiere, cracking open a cold one with the boys, or filming an episode of your favorite online show, The Dan Cave. With over 5,000 5-star reviews and a 2-year warranty, you can shop with confidence. So go ahead and check out Vincero. I know you'll love their watches just as much as I do. Go to vincerocollective.com/DanCave and enter the promo code DAN, that's D-A-N, to get 15% off your order. Don't blend in, stand out. Get a Vincero watch at vincerocollective.com/dancave. Let's open up the old mailbag, shall we? At Jetpack Paul asks, are there any comic book properties that have yet to be made into films that you'd like to see? Well, that's a great question, Paul. It's one I've thought about very often. While there are thankfully so many amazing comics that are making their ways to screens big and small, others have gone unadapted, which brings a tear to my heart. In particular, I'd love to see Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky's Sex Criminals, but as a TV series, or Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples' Saga as just this wild-ass sci-fi movie, but I want them to do it right, so just don't slap any old director on there. But tell me, which comic property do you most want to see on the big screen? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time!